Well, hi everyone. As handicappers and horse players, our constant decisions are made with the best of intentions. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. What we try to do is learn from our mistakes. Maybe we overlooked a bad trip by failing to watch video, or underrated a big speed figure, or chased an exotic wager when a win bet at 5-1 would have been just fine. Decisions are also made at other levels of the sport, seemingly with the best of intentions. But occasionally they seem to backfire. And today we will talk about 3 of those decisions that seemed to be mistakes by a Hall of Fame trainer, by owners, and by California stewards. So let's start talking about Kentucky Derby winner Justify. The Churchill Downs racetrack last Saturday was wet. It was sealed, it was hard, it was fast, and it burned many horses' feet for a day or two, made them tender, made their feet tender, including Kentucky Derby winner Justify. Now, he came out early Sunday morning, and he was fine. He came out later Sunday morning for a photo opportunity by trainer Bob Baffert. This was a fun thing to do. Show off the Kentucky Derby winner, let everybody take pictures, and kind of parade Justify around and show him off a little bit. The Kentucky Derby winner, it's the biggest race ever. Here's the problem. Justify had tender feet, and his tender feet stepped on a piece of gravel. And as we watch this video that was plucked from YouTube, watch his left rear foot. You will be able to see Justify, good-looking, gorgeous chestnut. Justify begins to favor his left hind foot. Now, this is not a good situation for a Kentucky Derby winner the day after a decisive win in the Derby. Look at him favor his left rear foot. That is not at all pretty. I talked to Baffert early this week, and Baffert said, "I'm an idiot," which we all know he's not. Baffert is one of the best trainers around. What he did acknowledge is that he probably made a mistake. What Baffert said, and I'm just going to paraphrase, "I should never have brought him out. I'll never bring a horse out like that again." Well, probably not after running a 45 and change half mile over a sealed racetrack with potentially tender feet. Now, the good news is this. Justify's left rear foot is fine. He resumed training this week, and it's on to the Preakness, where he will be very tough to beat. But this was, in Baffert's own words, a mistake to bring him out. He stepped on a piece of gravel, his tender feet. It exacerbated his burned feet, so to speak. And Baffert, in hindsight, said, "I should never have brought him out for the photo op." And he said, "I'll never do it again." Well, again, Justify is fine. He resumed training this week, on to the Preakness. So that was one mistake made by a top trainer. We all learn from our mistakes, right? The next decision, you can't really say it was a mistake, because anytime you give a horse to trainer Steve Asmussen, that's not a mistake. And the owners of Midnight Bisou, well, they stated a reason for taking her from the trainer that developed her into a Grade 1 winner, including the Santa Anita Oaks, which we'll take another look at. The owners of Midnight Bisou, this is Midnight Bisou. She's winning comfortably in the Santa Anita Oaks, and it was this victory that made her the favorite in the Kentucky Oaks. She finished 3rd in the Kentucky Oaks, partly due to a bad trip. But at any rate, a couple days later, the owners of Midnight Bisou decided to remove her from trainer Bill Spar and transfer her to trainer Steve Asmussen. The explanation was that Midnight Bisou would be better served in a Midwest, East Coast-based stable due to the ease of shipping toward her major objectives, which would include the Acorn at Belmont Park, the Coaching Club American Oaks in Alabama at Saratoga, which that explanation, it seems a little odd, and here's why. Last year, well, the last 2 years, the top 3-year-old fillies in the country were based in California, Abel Tasman and Songbird. Last year, Abel Tasman won the Kentucky Oaks, the Acorn, and the Coaching Club American Oaks. After every single East Coast, Midwest race, she returned to California, trained, and then went back out on the road again. Being stabled in California did not compromise her one bit. 2 years ago, Songbird, a similar pattern. She won the Coaching Club American Oaks, remained at Saratoga for summer, won the Alabama, came back to California, trained, went back out on the road, and won the Cotillion at Parks. She was based in California. Shipping was not an issue. For Abel Tasman and Songbird, they did not need to be stabled near their objective. That's why the explanation that Midnight Bisou needed to be stabled at a different circuit, to me, seemed a little bit curious. Shipping is not a big deal. What is a big deal is stall number 18 at the Santa Anita stable of trainer Bill Spar is now empty. Now, Spar already has plans for stall number 18. In his words, I'll just have to go find another one. It's talking about another new prospect, and he has some in the pipeline. Bill Spar is too good to not find another one. It kind of reminded me of what happened 1 year ago with trainer Simon Callahan when Abel Tasman, who he developed, was unceremoniously transferred from him to trainer Bob Baffert. Abel Tasman obviously became a top filly. She won the Kentucky Oaks for Baffert. Callahan, after that blow to his stable, went on to have the best season of his young training career. His horses earned $2.8 million. He hooked up with Kaleem Shaw, and they had a lot of success. The point is this: Spar is going to rebound. Asmussen is Midnight Bisou's new trainer. Yeah, and Asmussen's pretty good. But you have to wonder if the owners of Midnight Bisou were potentially creating some bad karma by taking Midnight Bisou away from the trainer that developed her for a reason that seems to kind of make not a lot of sense. Okay, finally, let's talk about the stewards at Santa Anita. Like baseball umpires and field goal kickers, if you're talking about them, it's probably to complain about something they did. Last Sunday at Santa Anita, in race number 8, stewards elected to not disqualify the winner, Achira. And as we look at the pan shot, you'll see Achira on the lead, turning for home. She seems to drift out a little bit. That's Helen Hillary to her outside. Achira holds her off the length of the stretch. Was the runner-up ever going by, even if Achira did not drift out? Well, who really knows? But now let's take a look at the head-on and ask yourself this question. Was a foul committed by Achira? She's drifting out a little bit. Soon. a little bit, and now even more so. And the jockey on Helen Hillary ultimately had to check in deep stretch. So, was a foul committed? Well, it sure looks that way. Jockey Mike Smith, who rode Achira, actually received a 4-day suspension, and bettors that backed the runner-up Helen Hillary, well, they did not get a fair shake, did they? It was a decision that seemed like a mistake. As handicappers and bettors, sometimes decisions blow up in our faces, but they are kind of private and personal. But when a high-profile trainer, owner, or steward makes a controversial decision, i.e. a potential mistake, everyone, these are good people. Perhaps decisions last week a little bit low. This is the Brad Report. I'll talk to you next time.